Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing great. We're going to talk about copper pennies today. And it's because I did a video about copper pennies and how you'll be able to make money off of them in the future, so you should put them away. So first off, let me define this if you didn't see that video. A copper penny dated from 1909 to 1982 was comprised of about 95% copper. And I'm not going to go into the older pennies. If you got older ones, that's even better because you got collector's value. But I did a video based on, hey, when you find these pennies, and they're very obvious. In 1982, they decided to stop producing them in 95% copper and started putting zinc and other alloys in them, metals to make them cheaper, right? Because if you remember, it's famous, 1981, 1982 is a very famous time because inflation was exploding. We had Paul Volcker trying to smash down inflation rates, but commodities were exploding, right? And a copper penny at that point was worth way more than it was its face value of 1 penny. Well, today, we are right back there, and I think it's going to get even better. Copper normally, just so you know, as a side note, is they call it Dr. Copper in the markets, stock market, for a reason, or in Wall Street, because it usually tells the health or sickness, illness of an economy. Why? Because copper is used in so much industrial applications, especially real estate, you know, copper plumbing, fittings, all that kind of stuff, electronics. And so when you have really good boom years in economies, copper tends to go up in price, right? Well, there's another time, and that's also when the economy is going down, and during times of inflation, copper becomes very valuable. Well, now, as of today, the face value of a penny is 1 cent. However, it's worth over 2 cents in melt value for a copper penny. Now, a real penny, like a current penny, that's worth crap. But here's the thing, I did this video and I said, save these copper pennies. And people were coming in the comment section and saying things like, well, Ninja, it's illegal to melt down copper. It's illegal to melt down currency. I mean, currency. You can't take a sovereign coin, right? Which, think about it, that's what a copper penny is, right? And you can't melt it down. It's illegal. You're absolutely right. But what blows me away is that video was about a paradigm shift, and that we're going through something that people in 1971 did. And that is when, whenever silver, I'm blanking out right now, silver coins ceased having 90% silver in them, right? Which is now known today as junk silver, right? Things that people discard. However, junk silver, that being dimes, quarters, and half dollars that are comprised of 90% silver, right? They actually have sometimes some of the highest, as a percentage basis, premiums as any other silver coin out there. Why? Because they're rare. Now, when they decided to stop making silver quarters, dimes, and half dollars, which was, I believe, 1964, except for a few years after that, I want to say up to, and this is all off my memory, up to 1967, half dollars were made of 40% silver, right? Those are totally different. They're still junk silver, but they have less silver in them, okay? At that point, people didn't really know what was going on, but my grandfather, he owned a hardware store, and he used to save all of the silver because why? As the late 60s started showing that there was problems with the banking sector, and especially going into the 70s, my grandfather started to realize that the silver in those coins were going to become more and more valuable because the government was just going to keep printing money. And he started saving all the silver coins. When people would come in and buy things at the hardware store, and everything was cash back then, he would literally take the silver and put them into buckets and filled them up. Holy cow, he had a ton. I wish I had that silver today. Good job, Kenny. My point being is this. He would take this and save it because he knew that it was worth a lot more. Now, here's the thing. If you think about it, right now we are in the exact same situation with copper. Now, do I believe that copper is going to go be more valuable than silver someday? I really don't, and that the reason why is because the World Mining Council makes sure we know how much copper is coming out of the ground in real time. They're really good about doing that as opposed to silver. And there's so less silver coming out of the ground, okay? So that I know is not going to happen, but this is what will happen. Right now, a copper penny is worth over double what the face value is. And people keep going, yeah, but Ninja, it doesn't matter because I can't melt it down. Well, think about this. What do you do with a silver coin, a silver quarter or a dime when you want to sell it? You either sell it to someone and it has value, so you sell it for way more than the face value of that coin. I think today, as of making this video, I'm going off of memory, a silver dime's worth about $2, all right? So you take that dime and you sell it for $2. Well, right now, if anybody had value in copper coins, you could sell them for 2 cents, right? Now, does anybody have any value? No. But the thing is back in the 70s or and the 60s, they didn't have the same value then either, right? It was the people like my grandfather that took those coins and threw them into a trash can or a bucket and filled them up and just set it somewhere, hid it in the house or out in the garage and said, someday, just don't worry, someday it's gonna be worth something. And he was absolutely right. As a matter of fact, even by the time that my grandfather passed away in around 1994, 1995, those silver dimes, quarters and half dollars were worth much, much more. Multiples more than their face value, right? And that is exactly what I was telling people to do with their copper pennies. And I believe, honestly, there's going to be a day soon because cash is about to become trash in even the government's eyes because they want to get rid of it and give you a CBDC, a digital currency. You're going to see the value of those copper pennies go up exponentially. So does it cost you anything to just take your penny and put in a bucket? No, it doesn't. Now, some might say, well, yeah, but Ninja, once it's full, you could buy what? Honestly, seriously, tell me what you could buy with a bucket full of pennies right now. Everything's exploding. A bucket full of pennies might buy you 1 month subscription to Netflix right now. Is that even worth it? No. So why not take that copper penny and just toss it into a bucket? And think about it. There's going to be a day where people are going to be paying you much more. Why? Because remember, as things explode in value due to inflation, companies go out of business. And we're even seeing some of the mining companies having issues because of the cost of inflation, fuel, diesel, all that kind of stuff, right? Energy, to be able to mine this stuff out of the ground. And as commodity prices are getting smashed down, there are some companies that just go out of business. This is a normal cycle. We saw this exact same cycle play out in 2012 to 2015, where mining companies had to close, especially junior mining companies had to close their doors, and then it puts a little bit of a squeeze into the market again. And I think we're going to see all that, but much more exacerbated. See, I got the word right, I think. So again, I want to tell people, like, don't think today or next year, think 5-10 years from now what that copper penny is going to be worth, because they aren't making them any longer. And more, especially now that you see these coin places at the grocery store where people are taking buckets and throwing all their coins in and they're getting charged up the yin yang, like to dump their coins in and the machine to sort it. The machine also, these machines are also set up, some of the real sophisticated ones, to separate the real metal, especially the silver and the copper. The guys, now I know it separates silver, but I'm pretty sure they're going to start separating the copper. If they're not doing it already, they're going to be doing it soon. Why? Because there's profit there. All right, guys, I hope you got something out of this. Let me know in the comment section, do you save your copper pennies or you just throw them away? I mean, most of them I'm just seeing on the ground. There's going to be a day where the Ninja goes, I remember picking those up and now I'm selling them for 5-10 cents each. And that really adds up. All right, guys, that being said, thank you so much for watching. The Economic Ninja is out.